The Haunted Girls Hostel in America. Most people who drive past the old Hawthorne Girls Hostel don't notice it. It sits a few feet back from the road, hidden behind dead oak trees and a rusted iron fence that leans inward as if the building itself is tired of standing. The windows are dark. Always dark. Even in daylight, they seem to absorb light instead of reflecting it. Locals don't stop there. They don't slow down. They don't talk about it unless someone asks first. And when they do talk, their voices drop. Because Hawthorne wasn't abandoned due to money problems, or poor maintenance, or declining enrollment. It was shut down after a single winter. A winter where 6 girls lived inside, and only 4 walked out. The official story says the hostel closed in 2009 due to structural safety concerns. That phrase appears on a faded county notice still nailed to the front door. But if you look closely, you'll notice something strange. The notice was printed after the police investigation, and investigations don't usually follow structural issues. Hawthorne was built in the early 1950s, designed as temporary housing for female students attending a nearby private college. It wasn't luxurious, but it was clean, cheap, and isolated enough to keep parents comfortable. The isolation was intentional. One narrow road. No neighboring buildings, dense forests. On 3 sides, at night, the trees swallowed sound. Girls who stayed there often said the silence felt heavy, like the air was thicker after sunset. In January of 2009, 6 students moved in for the spring semester. Their names were never officially released. But over time, fragments emerged. One was a quiet art major who barely spoke. Another was known for laughing too loudly at nothing. One called her mother every single night. Another had trouble sleeping and wandered the halls after midnight. They were strangers at first. By February, they had one thing in common. None of them felt alone anymore. The first incident was small, almost laughable. One girl reported hearing footsteps outside her door at night. Slow, measured, stopping directly in front of her room. She assumed it was another resident, until she opened the door. The hallway was empty. No echoes, no retreating steps, just silence pressing against her ears. She didn't report it. She didn't want to be that girl. A week later, someone noticed the lights flickering, not power outages. Just brief dips, as if something large passed between the building and the electricity itself. Maintenance found nothing wrong. The wiring was old, but intact. Then came the whispers. They weren't loud enough to understand, just breathy sounds. Syllables without words, always heard when someone was alone. Always stopping the moment they turned their head. By mid-February, sleep became difficult. Doors were found unlocked in the morning. Windows cracked open. Beds shifted slightly out of place. Nothing stolen, nothing broken. Just moved, as if someone had been walking through the room slowly, carefully, studying. The girls started spending nights together in the common room, talking quietly, laughing too hard, trying to drown out the unease. They joked about the place being haunted, but no one laughed for long. Because every night, around 2:17 a.m., the temperature dropped, not gradually, instantly. Breath became visible, and the silence deepened. One night, the art major recorded audio on her phone while she slept. She didn't remember doing it. The next morning, the file was already saved. 17 minutes long. The first 16 minutes were just static, breathing. Then, very softly, a voice. Not hers, not anyone she recognized. It said her name, once, perfectly. She left the hostel that day. She never came back. After that, things escalated. Mirrors began fogging without heat. Shadows stretched where no light existed. Footsteps now ran instead of walked. And sometimes, someone cried. Not sobbing, not screaming, just a kid rhythmic weeping, echoing through the walls. Always from the third floor. The floor no one lived on. The girls contacted campus security. Security contacted local police. Police searched the building. They found no intruders, no hidden rooms, no signs of forced entry. But one officer refused to return. He wouldn't say why, only that the building listened. The first disappearance happened on March 3rd. One girl went to shower at night. She never returned. Her towel was folded neatly on the sink. Her clothes stacked beside it. The water was still warm. The drain clogged with hair. No blood, no struggle, just absence. Police shut the hostel down temporarily. The remaining girls were moved to a nearby motel. 2 nights later, one of them woke screaming. She said she saw the missing girl standing at the foot of her bed, smiling, not blinking, mouth open slightly, like she was about to speak, but didn't. That same night, the motel's security cameras recorded something strange. At exactly 2:17 a.m., the hallway outside their room darkened, not from lights turning off, from something passing in front of them, something tall. Too tall. The second disappearance occurred during the police investigation. An officer stepped into the third-floor stairwell alone. His radio went silent. When they found him, he was alive, but catatonic, eyes open, mouth trembling. He spent the rest of his life in psychiatric care. He never spoke again. The final incident is barely documented. Only one report exists. At 2:17 a.m., power to the entire area failed. Neighbors reported hearing a low humming sound, like chanting, slowed down. When electricity returned, the hostel was empty. No girls, no belongings, no signs of evacuation. Just 6 rooms, 4 beds untouched, 2 beds stripped bare, and deep scratches inside the walls, as if something had tried to claw its way in. The hostel was condemned, boarded up, left to rot, but people still hear things. Drivers report seeing lights flicker inside. Hikers hear crying from the woods. And sometimes, very late at night, when the air turns cold without warning, someone stands at the fence, watching, waiting, counting. Until 2:17 a.m., no one knows what lived in Hawthorne, or if it ever left. But the road past it is quieter now. No birds, no insects, just the sound of your own footsteps, and the feeling that somewhere behind you, someone has stopped walking and started listening.